I'm going to call us up on our phone just to look.
Oh, here we are. We're live. So hi, I'm Lindsay, and this is Wavelength Astrology, and this is the first ever Get on My Wavelength podcast. And our first guest is psychic medium Donna Frasca. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. So for this podcast, I just want it to be about bringing people on from our little corner of Substack. I think it's really cool to meet the person behind the publication. And I want to create a community, a place where we can just hang out and have conversations about interesting things. So I plan on doing this a couple times a month. So I'm going to turn it over to Donna, let her introduce herself and talk about what she does.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for inviting me for your first podcast.
Yay.
I mean, I feel so honored.
Well, you're one of the first people that I connected with here on Substack, so it's special to me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And we did lives before, so we have a nice little, energy going.
We're comfortable with
each other. We are, and we just happen to be wearing the same colors.
I know. We didn't plan it.
We did not. It was funny because I'll get to my intro in a second, but I have a tendency to bounce. So
that's okay. That makes it more interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny. I had a different shirt on. It was still black, but I just wanted to put this one on. It was warmer. And I'm like, I bet you're going to match again or coordinate or have the same colors on. That's how you know when you have a good connection.
Yeah. I almost changed because I was like, is a hoodie too casual? And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to show up as I am because I want to make people comfortable showing up as they are. So here I am, casual in my black hoodie.
Here you are. And here I am. And here we are.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm Donna Frasca, and I'm psychic medium. And my publication is called From Color to the Cosmos. It's actually a really cool reason behind that. It's also the name of my book. The color part of that is my color career. I'm an interior designer for over 30 years. That was my main career. Super fun. And of course, the cosmos part is actually more fun. The psychic medium, woo-woo stuff, and it's actually where I'm more comfortable. It's just who I am. And I still do interior design stuff? Yeah, I just did it recently, but it's no fun anymore. So I kind of tweak it to how can color enhance our mind, body, and spirit. And that's through chakras and how color heals, holistic colors, and even the colors that you choose to wear, it's for a reason. It's a big, big topic. And little by little, I talk about mostly the cosmic stuff, but I do, as a matter of fact, today I talked about purple, because today felt so calm to me. I don't know. And you can enlighten me with the planets, but I mean, I've been up since 3:15 a.m. I should be exhausted right now. And I feel like I should be doing something, but I'm like, you know what? I feel very calm, and I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah.
This calmness.
I love that you talk about the colors because that's something I had never heard of or even thought of until I saw you talking about it so much. And that's just such a really cool way to tone into the energy. And I remember there was one day that I saw maroon 3 times back to back, and I think I messaged you, and I was like, Donna, what does this color mean? Because I feel like this is a
yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And you were able to like break it down why I was seeing color. No, it blew my mind. Like, wow, that is so cool that we can use color as a tool to understand what's going on around us. So somebody in the comments said they're wearing black, and she's a kitchen designer.
Oh, how about that?
Synchronicity.
The color and the cosmos going on right there.
Who else is wearing black?
Who else is wearing black? And I never used to wear black because I maybe just on, like pants because it's slenderizing for us full-figured women. But I usually don't wear it on the top because I think like the older you get, like your face kind of, loses color and whatnot. And depending on the color of your hair, except women with white hair look beautiful in black. It depends on skin tone and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a great grounding color. And somebody in the family, all she wears is black all the time for decades. I'm like, okay, that's not fun. that's boring. Why do you wear black? She's like, well, because then I don't have to think of matching my colors, my wardrobe to go to work. I'm like, that's no way to live.
Yeah.
There's no way to live. But yeah, color is ties in really well to mind, body, and spirit. Like I said earlier, I just feel really calm today. And then I stopped and I was like, I feel like I want to do a color post. I'm like, well, what color is calm? And it's the blues. And I'm like, no, not feeling blue. I
I do
felt I
have
need.
blue underneath. It's a very light blue.
Oh, I was looking at that. I thought it was gray. That's nice. Yeah.
I think it's
And
blue. It might be. I think it's a light blue.
it could be. Yeah, it could be. And
Gray blue.
so I'm like, okay, what color do I feel like? And because calm, like I said a second ago, is very blue is very calming. But I'm like, no, it feels different. Feels higher than blue. That's a thing. I'm like, well, what's higher than blue? And I came up with lavender. And so that's why I did that post about excuse me, about feeling very calm today. And I just put some purple color swatches there. I'm like, okay, I feel like purple. It's calming and it's higher.
Yeah, I love lavender. So
Yeah.
when you say that today I don't feel grounded. I feel all over the place. But Venus is in Taurus, and that's a very grounded placement because Venus is in its home sign, and Taurus is fixed Earth. So that's like the
Oh,
ultimate grounded.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're supposed to be like grounding through our body and through our senses. Taurus is very much about like our creature comforts. So like eating delicious comfort food and a cozy
Mm.
blanket and comfy clothes and it's also about beauty. So maybe like a song that you love or artwork that you love. So things that like please our senses are how we're grounding right now. I always have a hard time grounding. My energy is always just, up there. But we have a lot of Mars energy and a lot of Aries energy. So that is really like kicking in the action,
Mm.
the high energy vibes right now. And actually in 2 days, so Mars is still in Pisces. And in 2 days, it's going to enter Aries, which is its home sign. So all the planets that are in Aries, which is like 3 or 4 of them, are all pouring their energy into Mars right now. But Mars is still in a mutual reception with Neptune.
All right, girlfriend, you have to go a little bit slower. I'm newer to this astrology stuff. I am still like on your first note about what do you say, Taurus and Venus, was it? No,
Yes.
Taurus, the grounding.
Yes.
Say that first statement
Yeah.
of the planets again.
Yeah. So Venus is in Taurus.
Okay.
So if we're looking to ground, we're
Okay.
doing that through our senses and through our creature
Okay.
comfort.
Okay, hold on right there. So that's I told you have to go slow with this planet stuff.
That's okay.
I'm a newbie. I'm like, maybe she's going on and on about, and I have a thought with each one of those things that you said, but I wanted just to go back to your
Yeah.
opening
No,
statement.
slow me down because there's probably other people thinking the
Yeah,
same thing that you're thinking.
yeah.
So slow me down.
So all right. So yeah, I love the grounding part of that because again, maybe that's why I'm wearing black today out of all the colors of my closet. But when you said about feeling comfort, you mentioned food and comfort
Hmm.
about that when I was up at 3:15 this morning, I'm like, what do I listen, you should always listen to your body. I'm like, what do I feel like doing at 3:15 in the morning? And I felt like getting a glass of milk, which is really weird. I didn't start drinking milk until like a month ago. I haven't touched it in decades. Go figure. But it was just comforting. And I thought maybe it would help me get back to sleep, but it didn't. But then I woke up and I had a nice breakfast with 2 eggs in butter and a special tea with cayenne pepper and turmeric and all that other yummy stuff. So it was all comfort, all holistic yummy stuff, for whatever reason. But it's whether I intuitively just feel what the planets are trying to convey,
I think you
that.
do. I think you do because I notice things that you talk about. I'm like, oh, hey, that's what the astrology is saying.
Oh my gosh,
So
I'm an astrologer in disguise,
yeah,
incognito.
yeah. And well, I noticed that with some intuitive people that they just naturally pick up on the energy of the astrology through their intuition without knowing the astrology. And I think I've said that to you before. And I think that is so cool as like a synchronicity, a confirmation, whatever you want to call it, that,
Yeah.
people can pick up on these energies without having to fully understand the astrology because it's all energy, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the thing of it is, even if I feel like XYZ, I have no place to, I'm like, well, I'm not familiar with the planets. How can, besides checking with you, of course,
Yeah.
and going to your notes and seeing what you're saying about the planets, how would I know? I'm like, well, sometimes it's not important to validate your own thoughts. It's
Yeah.
important just to feel your own thoughts and know that on some level you're feeling and experiencing them for a reason. And you
Hmm.
don't have to go to Google or somebody else and say, well, why am I feeling, like drinking a glass of milk at 3:15? That's not important.
Yeah.
The more I think we start going inward and, just saying, okay, I feel this way, and that's it, that's okay. And stop it there. And as long as you're connecting with your mind and your spirit with your body, then it just feels good. Maybe that's why I feel calm today, because I just got that glass of milk at 3:15 in the morning. Then I had a nice egg breakfast and my spicy tea. I just followed
You took
what
care
my
of yourself.
intuition
Yeah.
was, and that's why I'm calm. Versus, if I got up and, you know, didn't get that glass of milk, or I had coffee first thing in the morning,
Like me.
I
Maybe
might
that's
have
why
messed
I'm so
myself up a
energized.
little bit. Oh my gosh, I
Well, I
love it
think
though.
that's an important point because I even though I love astrology, obviously, I'm a big advocate for your intuition. And a lot of times I think intuition should come before astrology because astrology can be misinterpreted, right? Or because astrology is so intricate and there's so many elements and moving parts, you can misinterpret or misread the astrology. So I know when I was first learning, sometimes I would read things and it would like work me up into a frenzy because I'm like, oh my God, the astrology says this, but it was going against my intuition. And later, when I learned more about astrology, I realized that I was missing other parts that would have kind of like changed the
Yeah.
message a little bit. So, just because if you read something in astrology that sounds scary, but it doesn't align with your intuition, like trust your intuition because there
Definitely.
could be other
Yep.
things in astrology that show you it's really not as scary as it sounds. But I also, on the flip side, I think astrology is a good tool for confirmation because sometimes our intuition can be skewed by our anxiety or
Definitely.
or when we're filtering it through our own lens. So I think they're both tools, and knowing like when to lean into one or the other can be really helpful.
Yeah. You know what I found or find interesting is that I'm going to be 64 this year, and every day, every week, every year, I continue to learn something new about my journey. Now, as a medium, psychic, whatever silly title, I want to call myself, I dislike titles. Um, Everything is just falling into place because I remember years ago, I mean, when I was just living at home, I guess I was newly married and I just had kids, whatnot. And my mom had said, she was talking about, the day I was born. And she says, yeah, she goes, you were almost born in an elevator,
Oh,
you know, quick. I'm like, and for some reason that stuck with me always. What a silly thing to remember. I was almost born in an elevator. But compared to what I do now and what I've heard from spirit, I constantly hear, and I've heard this even before I wrote my book, you're going to walk between realms. I spoke about it on Limes before. I think I even talked
yeah.
to you about it.
Yep.
Now I'm like, it's like an elevator in between floors,
Yeah, how
in between
symbolic.
realms. I
And you
just give
have the
myself chills.
ability to go between. That's interesting.
Even before I was born, it was already set in stone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I go, look how this all folds in. I wonder what floors I was in between. That I should have, maybe I don't want to know that. Floor, 12 and 14. But it's just interesting how you come into this world a certain way. And if you're somehow able to, like through your mom or whatnot, have a little snippet of what happened that day as you were being born and compared to what you're doing now, 63 years later, I think that's a big deal. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa. And I just realized this, like just like a week or recently, really recently. I'm like, wow. I go, that's kind of nuts. You know, it's crazy stuff, but it makes sense because I'm like, I heard I mean, I wrote it down in my book somewhere that it was some like 4 lines of something. You're going to walk between realms, but like, and I heard this. I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. I'm hearing this from my guides, and even that's a little bit too woo woo for me. But I wrote it down. It's in my book, and I'm like, I had to think about it for a really long time, and it kind of makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense, but it's just
So
weird
you
how.
do have a book, Donna. Can you tell people where they can find it?
Oh, yeah, I don't know, have a copy around. It's I unpublished it. It used to be on Amazon, and I had unpublished it because my editor missed a lot, and it was just, you know. And I also heard that my book was never meant to be published. It was meant for me, and it was an
Oh,
incredible. It's a memoir, incredible learning tool. And as I was writing in my book, also, From Color to the Cosmos is the name of it, Inside the Mind of a Medium. I learned so much about myself and my journey. And one of the things I spoke about a dream. It took me 30 years to figure that out, and it wasn't until I wrote a book that I realized what that dream meant.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So anyway, it's you can't get it anywhere. Like I said, I unpublished it. I
It's
have it.
exclusive.
Yeah, it's very exclusive. No, seriously though, I only have, I think, 10, maybe a dozen copies left. I have through my website, also called from color to the cosmos.com, that you can purchase it through me, through my website. So, but I don't, again, I don't promote it, because, you know, none of this is about the money for me. This is why my Substack is free. You know, I just hit 500 or something subscribers, all free.
Oh,
It'll always,
congratulations.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you everybody who subscribes and actually wants to hear my stories. I really do appreciate it. But it's not about the money. It never, I mean, what I would make here is not going to make me or break me, but it's just that I want to share my experiences because I know how frightening it could be for people who are similar to myself, who go through this journey alone,
Yeah.
who
And
have
you're very
questions.
brave because some of your stories would absolutely freak out most people. And in your stories, you're very calm. You know how to handle it. You have boundaries with
Oh yeah, yeah.
the, the spirits. Do you call them spirits?
Um,
Or,
well, unless I know it's a past person, I call it spirit people. I usually don't say ghosts because that's so Hollywood. I never say dead people because that's disrespectful. But I usually say spirit or spirit people in spirit. As a matter of fact, the only experience that really scared the crap out of me was the one I just published about. It's on my profile page if anybody wants to go take a peek. That I think the title of it is The Only Experience That Scared Me as a Medium, or
I,
maybe
s-
Scream or
yeah,
something.
I saw that post. I didn't get a chance to read it yet.
That was the only one. Yeah. That
Yeah,
that
you
was.
have a lot of good stories.
And just to correct, wordage, they're not stories, they're experiences. So there's a
Right.
huge difference. Yeah. But that one, it was before I had my rules and regulations for the spirit world. It was before my ear chakras were open. It was as I was still uh, developing as a medium, so I didn't have full control. Otherwise, I would have never allowed that to happen. I would have gotten up and kicked the ass of that spirit person who scared the crap out of me, because I've done that before. I
Yeah.
threatened them. Stories that I told you, I've threatened them. I said, "Oh no," I called them out. I said, "No, you can't do that." But this was before I got um, the know-how to do
Yeah,
that.
that's part of what I love about your experiences that you share is that you are so brave and you know how to handle them. And I think that's really useful, like you said, to other people that are having these experiences and they might not know what to make of it and they might not know how to handle it. And then
Yeah.
like, oh, wait, I read about Donna's experience and this is what she did. And I feel like that can really empower people who might be feeling scared or uncertain
Yes,
or
definitely.
having certain experiences because I've had some experiences. I haven't like seen a whole lot of things, but I feel. And so I've had experiences that have scared me. And it's really empowering to know that like we are in control of these experiences. So
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that. As a matter of fact, I just started adding to my articles a little graphic on the bottom about micro mentorship, I think I called it, where if somebody needs to talk about something, I mean, it's a 15-minute, time slot, a 30-minute or an hour, a ridiculous low price. If somebody needs to chat, about something that they're experiencing that they need help with. So I just want to let people know that I've experienced so much. There's probably nothing that somebody could mention that I probably have not experienced yet.
Yeah. I think that's so helpful, because how cool is it that there is somewhere to go to talk to about this, right? Because usually there's not anyone that you can talk to that understands and can hear you and give you
I didn't have
advice.
anybody, I was like, as a matter of fact, I would just, I mean, I've been like this my whole life, but it was 2014 where everything, came to a head, and it came in fast.
Yeah.
And at one point, I got all crazy, and I'm like, okay, let me go to my cards. I'll pick up some cards. And I have maybe 5 deck of cards. My bicycle cards are like my main game. But I had this one deck, and I said, okay, guys, you got to help me. There's nobody I can turn to. I don't trust any gurus or mentors or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they're expensive. So I'm going within using a tool. So I went to these cards, and I said, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? And, there was 40 cards or 44, whatever. And I'm flipping through them, and there was one, I'm like, because in a dream that I had, it was actually a dream in 2014, spirit came through at 2:34 in the morning. And I think I may have mentioned this to you in one of our lives together, that they said, all right, you get rid of your current blog, and you're going to replace it with this particular blog. And I'm like, what? And it was 2:34 in the morning, and it was called Angel Hug 2234. And they said, you're going to be a teacher. But I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. I don't do that. Nope.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin. So when I was drawing these cards, I knew back in my mind that Spirit already said, you're going to be a teacher. I'm like, nope, not doing it. Nope. And so in this deck of cards, I'm like, okay, I know the deck well. I said, I know there's a teacher card in here. And if that card comes through, I'm going to just lose it right here.
Yeah.
So I'm mixing.
It came up.
I screamed. I threw, the cards up in the air. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. I said, nope, I need more validation. So I have a
Isn't it funny that we do that? We get our answer, and then we're like, no, wait, I want
not good enough. I need more. So I said, nope, I need more. So I went to, I have a small collection of books, and this is so random. I have a Bible that I don't even know where I got it from. No clue. And it was a white part. I'm like, I just don't remember where I got it, but it was there. I'm like, fine, I'll pick this up. And for some reason, I'm like, okay, let me go to the big one and ask the same question. Then I'm sitting there, I'm like, how ridiculous am I? I go, I am opening the Bible, asking to show me some kind of proof or validation that I'm supposed to be a teacher. I'm like, this is so silly. I'm going to, after I do this, I'm just going to, commit myself to the hospital right now. I'm crazy, So I'm flipping through it, and I open it, and I do this a lot. It's another tool that I use where I see like a page in my mind, and then I see the page, and then I see a spot on the page. And so when I go to the page and I just point to it, I did that, and I landed right on the word teacher.
Stop.
I'm serious. I have the book over here with it highlighted, and I just said, I couldn't say anything. For once, I was speechless. I just started crying. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah. I'm like, how is this going to happen? But anyway, so that's how it unfolded. And again, it's important to let other people know that people who have been through this journey and still going through it, are available to help with any questions or, spiritual advice.
I think that's a really cool tool, even to just open a book and boom, where's my message? I've also turn on the radio, and the song that's on can be a message. And we don't want to just always be looking for messages or like forcing a message,
Right.
but at the same time, it's really cool to know that there's so many ways that I call them guides just because I don't know what else to call them. It's just a general word that works for me. But
Yeah.
like my guides give me messages in so many different ways. And speaking of guides, I think one of the topics we wanted to talk about was getting new guides,
Yes. Definitely.
which I think is really fitting because I think that might be happening to me. Maybe you can give me some
Oh,
insight.
well, what kind of guide are you looking to, or we're at 11 people here. So welcome
I'm seeing
everybody.
12. So, hey, if you guys have
12.
comments or
Yeah.
questions, you can ask questions at the end. We're going to pull cards for people if you guys have questions. So, have your questions ready.
Oh, we're pulling
Um,
cards for people today?
huh?
We're pulling cards for people today? For
At
the
the
people
end,
here? Oh, okay,
if you
cool.
want to.
Yeah, definitely. Love
But
that.
so the reason that I think I might be switching guides is because their tone and even the way that they speak for me is changing. They're much more forward, much more direct, sassier.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, hi, Shannon.
I know a few people there. I
Shannon's
know
here.
Lisa, Alyssa, and I know Theo Spirit. Hello, everybody. You know what? What if we pulled cards for people that are in this chat who wanted a card? How about we do that
Yeah,
instead
sure.
of
You want
saving it as we're chatting? Maybe if somebody says, "Oh, I want a card," maybe we could do that.
okay.
Yeah,
So, do you guys have questions, or we could pull cards just for the general message for who's in here?
all of the above. See how fun she said. Good.
I'm just gonna start shuffling then and see what comes out.
Yeah. So tell me about your guide stuff. What's going on there? I
Um,
mean,
yeah. So I don't always hear in my I don't hear with my physical ears. I hear like in my head, but sometimes there's a voice and actual words, and sometimes it's just a message that is implanted. But when I actually hear the words, before it was almost a little bit more proper, to the point, and now they're just getting a little more sassy and a little more direct and a lot more direct.
why do you
Like
think that is?
Why do I think that is?
Mhm.
I think it's because I'm entering a time where they don't have time to fuck around with me and they just want me to like listen to what they're saying. Because
Yeah.
when I've noticed that when I second guess what I'm getting, they're like, no, like this is what like this is it,
Yeah.
and they're using terms that they don't use and that I don't use. So it's not speaking like me, and it's also not speaking like how I used to get the
That's how
messages.
you know it's from spirit. Because I've
Yeah,
been asked 1,000 times, how do you know it's not your imagination? You guys know how I speak. I have
yeah,
a bit of a New York accent. I'm very forward. But yet when these channels or messages come in, I'm like, these are words that I don't use. I don't speak this way. And I
mhm.
get taken by surprise. You know,
So I got a
you know,
card for the collective that's in here, and it's the Three of Cups.
Shannon,
So,
Shannon is asking for a card. She's the person who asked for one.
oh, she did. I missed it. So,
Yeah.
Shannon, this is your card, and this
Yep.
is the Three of Cups. This is celebration, but also celebrating with friends. So, I always read this card specifically about like surrounding yourself with people that will cheer for you and celebrate your successes. I think that's really important that sometimes people overlook. Yay. You don't want to surround yourself with people that might like put a negative spin when you have a success. Like sometimes people are like, oh, well, that's nice, or oh, like it's easy for you. Even subtle things, even if they're not saying it, just their attitude, like you can just tell when people are not truly happy for you. And you want people that are truly happy for you because you don't want them to rain on your parade. So it's like people that are also building towards something, people that are also going after their dreams. And then you can celebrate for them, they can celebrate for you. It's just like a mutual, like building each other up. But either way, Shannon, whoever you're surrounding yourself with, it doesn't matter because you are going to have reasons to celebrate.
Yeah. Let me pull a card for Shannon, I'm sorry, as well. I use regular playing cards and I don't shuffle. I just do one cut. And let's see, bounce off what you said here. Oh, Eight of Spades. Okay, now this is very interesting because Theo Spirit says I can tell pretty easy. Oh, okay.
When it's from his guides. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Eight of Spades. here it's again, bouncing off what you just said, is that you get to the point of like, yay, I finally got here. I want to celebrate. But the spades come in, and it's those people and those energies that try to make your conflicts and try to bring you down. Is it jealousy? Is it envy from the other people? Could be. But no matter how well that you're doing or feel that you're doing, there's always people in your life that are trying to, for one reason or another, rain on your parade. And you're not letting them do that, Shannon, which is awesome, because you have that 8. The 8, I love it, because if you turn the 8 upside down, it looks like a little pair of eyeglasses. So you can see through people's bullshit, and you can really stand in your power and say, you know what? I don't like the way other people are, treating me or speaking to me about what I've, strived for. But that's okay. That's their journey, and it's not mine. I'm going to continue to embrace what it is that I worked so hard for. And this is the 8. The 8 is so powerful. But here you go with the spades, where those other people are trying to do that. But you don't let them do that, Shannon. Good for you.
I got intense goosebumps on the right side of my body when you were talking, Donna, and I always take that as like a confirmation, like, yes, like listen to this right now, Shannon, because what she was saying is a very important message for you.
Oh, God. She says, thanks so much. You've made my morning. Yay!
I love it.
Awesome. All right, let's go back to the guides. I'm thinking, before that, you had said that you feel like you're in transition, like you're changing. And then here you go talking about your guides who are a little boisterous.
Oh, yeah.
That's maybe because they're like, okay, we're going to take you away from here and we're putting you here. So listen to us now. So I think that's what they're doing.
I feel like I'm in this weird in between time where I don't know which way to pivot, because I don't know what is going to happen. And I'm feeling all this energy, all this Aries Mars energy that I hope at some point I get to dive into a little bit. But I'm feeling all this go energy, but I'm like, wait, I don't know which way to go because I don't know what's going to happen. Just for example, I got offered to take on an extra day teaching in my homeschool community, which I love. I love my homeschool community so much. And I would love to do it, but also I want to try to get pregnant this summer. But my husband has not given me a yes. And even if he does, that doesn't mean that I'm going to get pregnant. I am 40 years old, so I'm at that weird time where it might be hard for me to do, even if he was cooperative. So I don't even know if this is a real thing that's going to happen, but I don't want to take on that extra commitment for next year, not knowing if I'm going to be pregnant and tired or not. So before we got on, I was trying to kill a few minutes, and I was asking the question and shuffling my deck, should I take on this extra day next year? And this is very much like what you said when you got the teacher card that popped out, Donna. The Empress card popped out.
Oh.
Yes.
Is that the, I'm not familiar with tarot. Is that
She's pregnant. She's pregnant.
Really? Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
And then I got the Ace of Pentacles, which is the new stable beginning. And then I got the Queen of Pentacles, who's holding the pentacle and looking down at it like it's a baby.
Oh, wow.
And I got the 8 of Wands, which is like things are going to be coming in really fast. I got the 5 of Cups, which has 3 cups spilled and 2 cups. So the message I was getting was like, well, you will be pregnant and the choice is up to you, but like, you kind of might regret it if you take on too much, is kind of what I was getting, because there's going to be a lot happening.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but like you said, I still am not satisfied with that. I'm going to keep asking for more messages.
I'm excited to see how that unfolds.
Yeah. So everybody
I've predicted pregnancies before,
So what's your prediction, Donna? Do you have one?
I'm not there yet. I'm not going to tap into that energy right now. But the story, years ago, I did aura tree paintings, and
Donna.
What is that?
The Empress. It just I just moved my cards and it fell out. I don't know if you guys could see that on the video.
Oh wow!
I didn't even pick it. I can't.
Yes, you can. Yes,
my body is.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
I told you my guides are getting more direct. Like, no, girl, like I said.
You know what? You can't make that stuff up.
You can't make it up.
Oh, geez. Let me know what happens.
I will. So everybody in here, if
Let
I
us
announce a
know.
pregnancy
Yeah.
over the summer,
Oh my
remember this
gosh, I love that
conversation.
so much.
Remember this Empress popping out like that. Can't make this stuff up, man.
I'm telling you. It's awesome.
So the first inkling that I had about my guides changing, I didn't realize that it was my guides at the time. So I have a childhood friend who lives in another state, but we text. We're like texting buddies. And he's super fun and interesting. I love him so much. And I got up at like 2:30 in the morning one night to message him. And I was like, are you on Substack? Because if you're not, why not? Like, Substack is made for you. He's just such a cool, interesting person. And he has all these cool ideas. Like, he texts me, he's like, and you're welcome, by the way, for never texting you with boring shit like, hi, how are you? Because he's always texting me with these off the wall, like psychological, philosophical, metaphysical ideas. Like, he's just so cool.
Sounds
right?
fun.
And he would be so cool on Substack. He would have so many interesting things to write about and to talk about.
I mean, how can you not love Substack, seriously?
Yeah. So something got me up at 2:30 in the morning to text him to be like, hey, are you on Substack? Because why not? And he's like, I'm actually at the bar right now. And he sent me a video of his surroundings. And he's like, I'm going to go home right now and like get on Substack. So we're like texting. And how weird is it that he's even up at 2:30 in the morning?
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys apparently have a close link. So you're, hooked up energy-wise.
So he texts me and he's like, do you think I can just share like screenshots of interesting conversations that I have and post that on Substack? And I was like, well, technically, I guess you could. And then I got like a message that I said to him, and I said, stop trolling me. And what was it? Are you trolling me? Stop with that screenshot bullshit and like write a post. Like, I forget, but it's not, I don't talk like that. And my guides don't talk like that. So I was like, I said to him, I'm like, do your guides talk to you like that? Like, is that the tone of your guides? Because it's not my guides. And he's like, it could be, because sometimes my guides talk to me like that. Because I was just kind of confused, And then I think I was doing a live with you where I was wearing green on green, St. Patrick's Day. That was it, right? So when I was getting dressed that morning, I was looking in my closet and I didn't remember consciously that it was St. Patrick's Day. And my guides were like green tank top, green over sweater. And I was like, oh, well, the spring equinox is coming up. Maybe I'll save that outfit for the spring equinox. And they were like, no, bitch, like I said, green on green, and I'm like, whoa, like I'm not used to my guides talking to me like that. And then I'm like, oh, that's the same vibe when they got me up in the middle of the night to text my friend. And I'm like, that's kind of when I made the connection. It wasn't his guides, it was mine. But my guides.
Keep an eye on those patterns and then ask, who are you? Ask for a name or, just ask which guide are you? Yeah. Who are you?
I never know who.
Did you ever ask?
No.
Well,
I don't know if I would trust the answer because it's weird. I don't know. I know that I'm getting the messages and I trust the messages, but I don't know. I almost feel like whoever the guides are is not something I would really be able to comprehend anyway. I don't know.
Well, keep in mind that, and I only say this because I know from my experience with this angel and other colleagues of mine, and I'm like, in one sentence, can you sum up the personality of Archangel Michael? And they all said the same thing. This is like a dozen people. He's very boisterous. He's very to the point. And, if he wants to say something, he'll come in blasting and saying it. So, sometimes when, one day I was painting an angel and I couldn't, come up with a name for the painting. Then I hear, stop what you're doing and go to Google and ask something. I'm like, wait a minute, who am I talking to? And this voice in my head was very, and I didn't like that it was so stern and boisterous is a good word for it. And there was a song on the radio that I was listening to. It was Halcyon something or another, and I go like that song. I'm like, what does even Halcyon, Halcon? What does it even mean?
Yeah.
I hear, well, then go look it up on Google. I'm like, okay, who's talking to me like that? And you can't do that.
I
And
don't
he's
like your tone.
I don't, because you know me, I'll call anybody out, even
Yeah.
if it's an angel. And he's like, Archangel Michael. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, sorry. It's like, okay, well, fine. Just can you speak to me a little nicer? So I looked it up, and it just means happiness or joyful or whatever it is back in the day. So
Yeah.
that's what I named my painting. But going back to the guides, what's interesting is as you feel yourself changing, you don't. I call it changing of the guides. I did a post on it, not here on Substack, somewhere else. And you can actually change your guides based on what you need in life. You can get rid of some, or you can add some, or you can have a whole team, whatever you want to do. There's
So
no.
we have multiple.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. And years ago, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, whatever, I really wanted to start taking better care of my health. So I'm driving around. It's like, I think I'll conjure up a new guide. It's going to be a nurse. Yeah, I need a nurse guide. And I'm driving, and then I see in the middle of the road with my regular eyes a nurse standing there, and I slammed on the brakes, almost went off the road. I'm like, what the shit? And it was gone. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And did you ever see One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with what's his name, Jack Nicholson? But anyway, it's an old movie. Got to go watch it. Super fun. Not fun, but it's good. Anyway, there was a nurse Ratchet. She was very, very stern, and she looked exactly like that. I'm like, I said, seriously? I go, Nurse Ratchet, and she's like, I am not a nurse. I am a doctor. I'm like, okay. I go, apparently I need a strong guide to keep me in line with my health.
Yeah.
So she literally almost chewed my head off one day. I'm not a nurse. I am a doctor. I'm like, okay, you're a doctor and you're here to help me. Thank you very much. But here again, that's where I went to my rules and regulations. Please do not show yourself while I'm driving. That was, I think, rule number 2 or something. But yeah, I mean, changing of the guides. You can get rid of them. You can, ask for, when I was writing my book, I said, okay, it was very, with the editing and whatnot, and my computer would, just blank out. I'm like, all right. I said, I need a guide to help me with technical issues. Who does that? So I conjured up Techie Ted, just like that, with a thought. I'm like, okay, I need a guide. Come on in. And I heard Ted. I'm like, Ted? Really? What, like Techie Ted? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I kid you not. Every single time when I had an issue with anything electrical in the house, I would just sit back and like, Ted, can you please help me with this? Within seconds, it was rectified.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from going on lives, from, appliances doing weird things to, anything electrical. Techie Ted took care of it all, every single thing. So
That's
yeah,
interesting.
you could change them up.
So maybe I didn't change my guides. Maybe one is just stepping forward more than the other.
Maybe, yeah.
Before it was kind of like a more mature, older, very direct and to the point vibe. And now it's kind of like a sassy, very direct girlfriend. Like, listen, girl. Like, no,
Oh,
bitch.
you can always use one of those. Definitely. I love it. All right. So does anybody else here want a card or
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
any
Does anybody
questions?
want a message? This is fun.
This is fun.
So, another thing we wanted to touch on was Moldavite.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those of you that don't know, I love that you have one.
And one is all you need.
Oh yeah, a small one is all you need.
Well, I mean, if you can get them at all, and there's a lot of fakes out there, so be careful. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Moldavite was created when a meteorite hit the Earth, like forever ago. I think it hit in Germany, and it went up into the sky, and then it came back down, and most of it landed in the Czech Republic. So it's like this green glass-like. I don't know if it's considered a crystal.
Pectite, I think it's called. Yeah.
But so back in like the COVID era, I was watching this guy on YouTube and he was talking about Moldavite and it really piqued my interest. So I started looking it up and I just knew I had to have one. So I asked my husband to get me one for Christmas and he came through. And it was a beautiful bracelet with a little tiny Moldavite inside of like a cage.
Oh.
And I felt it instantly. So I don't usually feel energy from crystals. I have them and I'll take them out and I love them, but I don't usually feel energy from crystals. And as soon as I took it out, I was so energized, and I didn't realize until later that it was the moldavite that was making me feel that way,
Oh,
because when I would try to go to sleep with the bracelet on, I couldn't.
no.
And then I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that they said, you have to
Yeah,
put it away at night."
you
So
do.
I got up and I put it away and then I could sleep.
It's
It's
crazy.
it's
And the more stories I hear like yours, again, I'm very scientific with all this stuff. And the more stories or experiences that I hear to about Moldavite or about whatever, that I put it all together. I'm just like, well, 90% of the people that I spoke to said this about it. So it's got to be
it's so
true.
powerful. It's
It's
so
very,
powerful. Whether
yeah.
you
So
believe in it or not, whether you're psychic or intuitive or just whatever, it doesn't matter. It's powerful.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
a pretty
you
good
know what's
size
real?
one. That's bigger than the one that I had.
It's
So
like
when
a
I say the
size of
one that
a.
I had, it hit itself on me.
Wait a minute. Look. Wait. Hold on a second. I'm going to try to shine a light through it without blinding everybody. I don't know if I can do that. Hold on. It's too bright. Hold on 1 second. Let me just try the flashlight on my phone, which is not as bright. And it's a beautiful green. Can kind of see it. See how
One,
green it is?
yeah, and one of the ways to know if it's real or not, it will have little bubbles on the inside when it's real.
Yeah, and it's sharp. It is sharp. Let me just shut my flashlight off.
So, and there is a caution with moldavite, because, and you know what, moldavite is so on point with the energy that we're having right now, because it's energizing. It can even like make you manic. And with all this Mars energy right now, it aligns. And another thing that moldavite does is it will clear things out of your life that no longer serve you. And that's another thing with the energy that we're supposed to be doing right now. And you might hear a lot of people say bad things about moldavite and like, don't get it. It like ruined my life. And it's because it will,
I shouldn't laugh. It's not
seriously,
funny.
some people get really upset about moldavite. It has some bad reviews, but it's because it will clear things out of your life that are not meant to be there, whether you want to clear them or not. So if you have a toxic relationship that you're still wanting to hold on to, moldavite will get rid of it, whether you want to or not.
That's funny you said that because it's green. It represents the heart chakra.
Oh,
Yeah, it's green. I mean,
I
so
love that part of the insight. So my moldavite, I lost it and found it a couple times. And that's another thing that they say about moldavite, is that because it's so powerful, it will lose itself on you when it knows that you need to take a step back, because it doesn't want to overwhelm you. And if you're not meant to have it, it will lose itself from you. So I lost it and found it a couple times. And then I don't remember how long ago this was, but it was a while now. I was reaching into my silverware drawer and I had those little hooks that, like the baby proof hooks on the drawer,
yeah, yeah,
so that you can't, toddlers like can't open a drawer.
right.
And the bracelet, not the bracelet, the cage got caught on the hook, and it opened the cage just enough that the moldavite flew out.
Oh God,
I looked everywhere.
it escaped.
It escaped. We even painted, so we moved the stove and everything. Like, I
Mm,
looked under the stove, I looked everywhere. It is gone.
wow.
And I kept waiting for it to make an appearance again, and it never did. At this point, I'm wondering if it got like vacuumed up or something. But I guess it decided that its job with me was done, and it
I mean, it's very. I don't even remember how I came across this or why, but once I found out about it, was extremely suiting for me. You said that it's a meteorite came from space, so now this brings into the alien aspect
yes.
of everything. And I'm A negative, so they say a lot of people with A negative have alien blood,
Oh.
hearsay. And but that's okay, I'll still take it. um and I'm also Czechoslovakian, and it was
Oh,
mined in
that
the
is so interesting.
Moldvite River in Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Oh,
whoa.
that's cool. See,
Yeah.
and I didn't even know that when we decided to talk about moldavite today. That is really interesting.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, I can't recall when I need to wear this, but on certain occasions, I'm like, okay, I need this crystal, or I need this, or I need that. And I don't recall because it's not often that I wear this, but I cannot wear it more than like 3 days. And I cannot wear it with anything else. They do not play well. And I only know this because I experimented. I would wear other crystals and whatnot, and it would just be a train wreck of a day. I'm like, what is going on? What happened to me
Yeah.
today? I'm like, what am I wearing? I'm like, this guy can only wear it by itself. One and done, Moldavite. It does not
Yeah.
play well with other people, with other crystals.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
it
it's
makes sense.
just
It's so powerful. You don't
it's
need
very
it with
powerful.
anything else.
No, yeah, it's very powerful and
Wants to be the main character.
the main game. Yep. So I love that so much.
Does anybody else have any questions? Does anybody else want us to pull a card? Because if not, I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology that's coming, because on Thursday, Mars enters Aries, which is a huge deal because we already have like the Sun, Saturn, Neptune. We already have a lot of planets in Aries. And so Mars rules Aries. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the restart. It's the spark. It's the beginning. It's energized. It's cardinal fire. It's like go, 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 right? So if you guys are feeling this energy, this is why. And Mars still being in Pisces, which is in a mutual reception with Neptune, and Neptune is Pisces and water, right? So the water is putting out the fire because they're pouring their energy back into each other. So the mutual reception with Neptune is really hindering this Aries energy from like really kicking in. And so in a couple days, when Mars leaves Pisces and goes into its home sign where it's the strongest, it's going to be a really big shift. Like the forward momentum is really going to kick in, and I think it might catch some people off guard. I think I'm feeling it early, honestly. Some people do, and I usually do feel the energies a little bit sooner than when
So
they.
what is that feeling? What is it that is it anxious? Is it stress? Is it calm? What is that you're feeling?
I mean,
So
it's really, it can be perceived as anxiousness because it's like this buildup of energy. So it can be exciting, but it can also feel anxious, and especially where it's still not fully, there's still like a dam blocking it. I don't know how to explain it, but there's still a blockage there. So you feel this forward momentum, but the mutual reception with Neptune is like, no, 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 we're still going to put you out with this water a little bit. You know
I
what I
love that
mean?
when
So,
you describe the planets, in relation to, okay, Pisces is water, and to water and water, where I can, because I am like totally a newbie to this. I don't understand astrology.
yeah.
It's a new field for me. And I like the way you explain it, where you say, okay, these are two waters. So what does that mean? Waters are
So Aries
emotions.
is the fire. Aries is the spark. Aries is
Oh,
the first fire. It's the restart. It's the beginning. So Aries is trying to spark up this new version of you, this new life. This is like a whole new cycle. I'm not gonna like dive into all the, but this is like a big deal. We're coming into all these planets in Aries that we've never experienced before.
love it.
And we're not fully there yet. We're like in the in between. Like I've done a post about the in between. And so we're moving along, but we're still a little bit in the in between. Um, yeah. So Aries is trying to spark, and Neptune and Pisces with the water is, keeps kind of like putting it out, right? Like, so once Mars goes into Aries, like that is over. Mars is strong in its home sign, and all the other planets that are in Aries are pouring their energy into Mars because they deposit back to Mars.
Didn't
So
you say, I thought I heard you recently say that I forgot when, but you said the planets are going to be kind of in alignment. Was that you had wrote about that or said that? I thought,
maybe,
I,
well, there,
I thought on one of your notes you had said that they were
oh, all
on,
the planets are direct.
okay, that's different from being lined up, right?
Yeah. So
Okay,
that means all the planets are in forward motion. There are no retrogrades right now.
thank God.
So, of course, the planets don't really go retrograde, but from Earth's perspective and the way that they orbit and their speed, from Earth's perspective, it can appear that the planets are going backwards.
Oh,
And when that happens, it's like a slowdown, it's a review, it's, working on things internally and not so much things happening externally in your real life.
because I remember
So,
you wrote about that like last week or a few days ago. I'm like, oh, and I was at my cabin, I think last weekend, and I had this planet app. And when I saw as the sun just set, there was this one bright planet. I forgot which one it was, but I got my app out, and the planets were almost in alignment. I'm like, ooh, I'll go.
yeah. So because they're all in Pisces and Aries right now, for the most part, there's a couple stragglers like Pluto is in Aquarius and Jupiter is in Cancer. But other than that, for the most part, they're all within two signs.
Hmm.
Pisces is the last sign, Aries is the first sign, and all of them, I love that you talked about that. Okay, so all of them are crossing over the end of Pisces and into Aries. And so 29 degrees Pisces is the last degree of the zodiac, and it's known as the most uncomfortable degree of the zodiac. It's known for whatever, it's known as a suicide degree because sometimes like people can't take it and they
Hmm.
want to escape. So that can be escape through suicide, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, any way to disassociate. It can be denial, delusion,
Hmm.
just to not have to sit with how you feel because it's just uncomfortable. And then so it's like the final ending. And then you cross over to 0 degrees Aries, which is the very first sign of the zodiac. It's like the complete restart. It's a whole new cycle. So all the planets right now are crossing over this point.
Oh,
So
geez.
every planet is getting really, really uncomfortable at that last ending, that last letting go, that last tying up loose ends. And then you're crossing over into the new beginning. And then so right now, what's in the very beginning of Aries is Neptune and Saturn. And this is like dissolving our ego and rebuilding our ego. So it's a lot. Like it's a
I was just
lot.
going to say that's a lot of information. And again, for the people who are just starting out, like myself, I mean, I'm a very visual person. Being clairvoyant, I need visuals, and I rely on visuals. It would be cool if you did like a what you call it, a calendar, and somehow on these certain days you would highlight it. I mean, it'd be a cool graphic for you to make so people
Yeah.
have a visual, because sometimes all these words, planets, and a lot of people, myself included, might find it a little confusing. But like
Yeah.
if you had like a calendar and you would highlight certain days and
It's
maybe
so weird
like
that you say that because I was thinking
connect them.
about making a calendar because I was going to start writing it on my own calendar to help me organize my thoughts.
Do
And then
it.
I thought that might be an easy way to show people. Um,
I mean,
because
you
you're
can
right,
print
it
them
is
out, just a
hard.
generic, calendar. I do it, for various reasons. And then you can just write your own little notes on it, the color of the planets, and maybe connect the dots or something so people have a visual
Yeah.
of what you're saying about the planets. I think that would help a lot. At least it
Yeah.
would help me a lot.
So I'll try to say it without all the astrology jargon, but basically, it's not a clear ending and beginning because even once we go into Aries, which is the beginning, there's still Saturn and Neptune there, which are dissolving and rebuilding our ego, which is like how we see ourselves. So even once the beginning starts, we're still,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? It's still kind of like an ending and a beginning, but it's not a clear go time. And so I know on the spring equinox, the sun goes into 0 Aries on the spring equinox every year. That's what makes it 0 Aries because tropical goes by the seasons. So it was a brand new zodiac cycle, and Mercury went direct on that same day. So all planets were direct on the very beginning of the new cycle. So I know I expected, and probably a lot of people expected, like, all right, this is forward motion. This is like go time. And then it just wasn't, right? Like it wasn't, the energy wasn't what I was expecting it to be. And I think it's because Mars is still in Pisces and it's, being put out by all that water. And even though there were no more retrograde, Mercury in Pisces was still in its post shadow period. I know. I hope I'm not losing you. But
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of information. It's confusing, but I do like that you said, you mentioned in between, and for people such as myself, I'm not gonna lie, that don't understand astrology like, the expert that you are. I rely on my intuition. So like right now, whatever the planets are doing or whatever phase that we're in, I feel it's the in between. So
Yeah.
it's like the last few days have been intense. And now we started this podcast earlier. I was saying I feel very calm today. I mentioned
Yeah.
purple, and then, I would sit and say, okay, well, what does this feel like? Why does this feel like this? What do I feel like is coming up? And, it's the in between. It's the pause before something is to unfold, a new type of energy. So, again, I think you said on Thursday, what could you tell people to expect that they would feel on Thursday with all this planetary
The
movement?
energy is going to get turned on.
Okay.
Just to
So
be
does that mean that we're going to be a little more,
the doors are going to open.
Yeah.
You're going to have the motivation. You're going to just feel like it's time. Like it's time to go. So
does this mean like starting new projects or thinking about
yes,
it?
yes. So I wrote in a previous post that so all planets are direct from the spring equinox until May 6th. But I said the real sweet spot is going to be April 9th to May 6th because that's when Mars is going to be its strongest. Mars is
I'm
the
going to look
planet
on
of
my
action.
calendar and see if I have anything amazing lined up for that day, for that
Mars
week.
is the planet of action and energy, and it's getting turned on. Mercury in Pisces is leaving its post shadow period. Basically, what that means is like the after effects of Mercury retrograde, it's officially going to be over. So there's a little bit of a lingering Mercury retrograde energy, but it's officially going to be over also on Thursday within a couple hours of each other. So yeah, it blows my mind. You can't make this shit up. Like just how we say that about our cards and our intuition.
I know, right?
When I look at the charts sometimes, I literally laugh to myself. And I put in a lot of my posts like you can't make this shit up. I see you, universe. Like the way that they line up these messages is almost like humorous to me because like the planets have cycles, right? And you can't change the cycles, but the way that they just line up so perfectly sometimes to give us these messages, it blows my mind. But yeah, Thursday it's go time. From Thursday until May 6th, if you want to launch a project, if you want to start a fit, like whatever it is, like this is the time to do it. And another important thing I wanted to mention is like how we all have birth charts. The moment that we're born gives us a chart, and that is the energy for our lifetime, right? Like that's who we are, that's our vibe, that's our personality, that's the events, that's everything, right? So when you launch a project, so today I launched the Get on My Wavelength podcast. So whatever the chart is today is
you
the
started
birth
your
chart.
new a few days early.
I did, and I was thinking about it.
That's
I know.
because you knew about it, so you're like, I'm going to jump on this wagon before Thursday.
Well, what? No, it would have been better if I did it after Thursday, honestly. But I wanted to do it a couple days before because I wanted to talk about it
So do
beforehand.
another one on
I
Thursday.
wanted to give people a heads up that, like, listen, in a couple days,
that's
we're
good.
gonna feel a really big shift.
So everybody here, listen. On Thursday, it's going down.
Yeah, you guys are gonna feel a really big shift on Thursday. You're gonna be ready to do the thing, and you can start making the preparations now. Like I want to introduce a paid tier and I've been thinking about it a lot and I don't know exactly what I want it to look like. And that's a big reason why I haven't, but I'm really feeling the pressure after Thursday, but before May 6th, that's the time where I should do it. And maybe things will line up and I'll just kind of know when and how to do it. But yeah, like these windows are few and far between, and it's a short window, right? It's like a little bit less than a month. And then on May 6th, Pluto goes retrograde. And I haven't looked far enough ahead to see when the next window of all planets direct is, but to have all planets direct and to have a concentration of energy in Mars and Aries like we have never seen before in our lives, and we will probably never see again. Like this is the most potent energy of a restart in our lifetime.
You need to do a calendar.
With all planets direct.
Please do a calendar.
This is the month to start the thing of your lifetime. It really is. So take advantage of it.
Oh, I wonder what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
What should I do, Lindsay?
Hi,
What can I
Micah.
start?
Micah.
Oh, look at that. We got all kinds of. Does anybody here want, we still have some time left. How much time do we have left?
Oh,
Couple minutes.
yeah.
If you want
Anybody want a
any,
card? A
we're doing
message?
cards. She's got tarot and I got regular playing cards. Super, super fun
Yeah,
stuff.
if nobody asks a question, we can just do like a
Yeah,
general for whoever's here or whoever's watching on the replay.
definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, that's like, the way, I mean, as far as planets, it's just solid moon for me, like the moon phases, the new moon and the full moon, that those two phases are when I schedule all my readings, when I feel the most psychic, and I can feel uh, physically the change in my body on those two moon phases. It's like, based on the wave, I'm like, okay, I mean, other than looking at the sky at night and seeing it, bright, but that would be cheating,
Yeah.
for a full moon. But I could tell, the way that I feel, what moon phase that we're in. Actually, that's why I have, like moonstone here.
And you are a Cancer,
I'm
right?
Cancer, so moon
Yeah,
is
so you're
my
very
real.
in tune with the moon
Oh
cycles.
yes,
And I hear that a lot from Cancers that the moon cycles are very impactful for them.
that's our ruling planet apparently.
For sure.
Yeah, I love it.
So I got a couple cards, and the
What you
first
got?
card I got is the King of Wands, and Wands is fire. And Aries and Mars are fire, right? So I think this is just kind of highlighting what I was talking about all this forward motion, and he's the king, right? So he's mastered it. He's mastered the energy, he's mastered the forward momentum, and it's like the maximum power, right? Like I was talking about, like the concentration of Mars and Aries energy that we're having right now, like this doesn't happen. So we don't usually have a concentration of one energy like we do now. I know that it was Pisces years back, but yeah, this doesn't happen. So take advantage of this forward momentum. So the caution with Aries, I want to say, Aries can be really impulsive and impatient because it's excited about the forward motion and the energy that it has, that it just wants to go out there and do things, right? And especially where it's the year of the horse, we don't want to be out there just doing shit just to do it. You do want to be aware of your surroundings and know what's happening and make aligned action, not impulsive action. And I say the year of the horse because if anybody's familiar with the story of the Great Race, which determined the order of the animals in the Chinese calendar, the snake wrapped itself around the horse's leg and hitched a ride along the race. And when they got close to the finish line, the snake slithered out in front of the horse, startled the horse, and took the horse's place in the race. So even though the horse was fast and energetic and like going for it, he wasn't aware of his surroundings and he got tricked out of his position because the snake was more strategic. The snake didn't have to be faster or stronger, right? But he was aware of what was happening and he had a plan. So the caution here is don't just be out there doing shit just to do it. Also have a plan, right? And then
I
the
also
next,
love on that card that there's red and yellow, which represents fire.
yes,
And we're also again, I go to color and the
I love it.
chakras, so we're staying grounded, with the king, who is it's already, the king, but he's wearing red. It's very grounded. But yet behind him is yellow. This is the solar plexus. This is the ego. This is where, it's I got this, I'm doing this attitude on it. So I love that those
Yeah.
two colors are in that card. That represents fire.
And then we got the tower in reverse. Listen, the tower is not a scary card, even upright, but in the reverse, this is awesome because in the reverse, it means we dodged a bullet.
Oh,
So there was something that pivoted in our lives and it was saving us from a tower moment. So the tower upright, I don't think is scary because sometimes things need to crumble to be rebuilt better. And the process of that, was upheaval and unexpected and uncomfortable, but it's still for a good purpose. But in the reverse, we didn't have to go through the whole tower crumbling. And what I'm thinking is like we got rid of things out of our lives before it became a real problem, before it created a tower moment. So if you were following your intuition about letting go of people, places, and things that just didn't feel right to you anymore. It saved you from having to experience all this, because sometimes when we don't follow our intuition or we don't get rid of things that we need to get rid of, the universe or destiny or our guides or Moldavite will come
Do it
in
for you.
and will get rid of it for you.
Definitely.
And when outside things have to take care of it for you, it's always messier, right? Like, it's always better to get rid of things on your terms before it gets to that emergency point where destiny has to step in and do it for you. So this is telling me that you guys did get rid of things that you needed to get rid of, and it helped you avoid this tower moment. So good job.
I love that. Just from 2 cards. Look at all that information just from 2 cards. And all right, well, let me pull 2 cards again. Regular, I don't shuffle. I just cut in half. So I'm just going to pull 1 and 2. Ooh, so we got the Queen coming here, bouncing off the King, and that King energy that you mentioned. Wands representing fire. You had mentioned that. The Queen's coming in, and she's like his sidekick, kind of keeping an eye on everything. And the diamonds represents material things in life. And, again, there's no guidebook with that, but tapping intuition, I see like a book opening and seeing that even though that we're going fast forward with this fire energy, just keep in mind material things, not so much like diamonds and jewelry and money, but the material things in life that are important to you. She's more like of a grounding. This part right here is more like, and I'm going to bounce right to here for a second, 10 zeros down to 1 hearts. So she is listening to that King energy, that fire energy, but yet as a woman, as a female, we're going to soften that up just a bit. I got full body chills right now. I said next time I'm going live with you, I'm wearing a coat, and I put a warmer shirt on. But this card is pulling that masculine fire energy down just a little bit for some of us who are really sensitive, who can't, who find it maybe might be too fast for us, or too overwhelming. So she's
overstimulated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is the self card. This zeroes down to 1. So she's softening it for us, for the home. I would love to have seen the 4 card here. Let me just pull another one. Please be a 4. Nope, 7. Sacrifices. In conflicts. So I'm gonna add that one right there. But this card is bringing in to soften the energies that are coming up for the people who are super sensitive. Be kind to yourself. It's about self-love. Because if you don't, again, here we have those conflicts, and your upside down card. These don't really, matter upside down or not. But, it's to be mindful of how fast to proceed when these planetary changes happen, when the energies change. And for hypersensitive people who are feeling anxiety or stress over the next few days or few weeks because of that change, just to tap into the female side, the yin and yang, the softness, and say, just breathe, just take it, go right to the heart chakra, focus on yourself, and just take it down a few notches. Everything will turn out. Because if you panic a little bit, this card's saying you're going to go berserk, you could hit the wall, and you could start from ground zero, which is okay. Some of us have to do that in order to learn our lessons in life. But it doesn't have to be that way. Knowing is half the battle. So again, these cards are bouncing off the King and the fire energy to tone it down and go slow and steady. Slow and steady.
I love that message, Donna. You're always so comforting and calming.
Aww,
so I have been overstimulated and a little bit anxious and a little bit overthinking. And so that Queen, I thought, was a beautiful message to leave off on. And I also felt like that you were channeling the Venus and Taurus vibes of grounding, because it is feminine. Those are feminine energies, and grounding through our creature comforts and our senses. Yeah, definitely an overstimulating energy. I don't know if anybody else has been feeling that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Oh, what was that?
Oh, you did remind me of one more thing I wanted to mention. So with the whole transition from Pisces to Aries is the new beginning and the restart, right? and Pisces is the ending. And I felt like I've seen a lot of confirmations recently in the astrology that we are going to need to sacrifice something to get the new thing. And so I thought it was really interesting. I was so happy that you touched on that because I forgot to mention it. And I feel like that's a really important part. And just to kind of go back to my own experience where I was offered an extra day in my homeschool community, which I would love to take. You know, I'm super excited. I want to take it, but I also don't know what's going to happen by September. If I'm going to be pregnant or not. So it's like, can I do both or do I have to sacrifice one or the other? So that's kind of like that in between that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if other people are having their own version of that in between. Like, I want both of these things. Can I do them both or do I have to pick one?
Well, I mean, when you have a choice of things to decide on, it seems like you always have to pick one. You can't have it all. I mean, there could be a happy compromise somewhere along the line. Perhaps instead of taking on an extra day of work, cutting hours back to have a family, or the other way around, you know?
Yeah, the message I'm getting is I'll see it more clearly as time goes on, but I do think I have to give an answer soon. So I don't know.
Well, you got to look at the stars, girlfriend.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about time. So that wraps up our first ever Get on My Wavelength podcast. And I want to thank Donna so much for being my first guest.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for everybody being here. I always love our conversations together.
It's always so interesting. And I love how we complement each other.
Yeah.
So we both have knowledge of different things. And when we bring them together, it just makes for such an interesting conversation.
And a year from now, I'm going to be an expert in astrology.
Yes. And I'll be an expert in color.
Yes.
And maybe I'll learn how to read the playing cards. Maybe you'll teach me that.
Definitely. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for having me as your first guest. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, Donna. All right. Bye, everybody. See you next time.
Bye-bye.